You can't change people. All you can change is the way you respond and what you allow. No matter whether it's your mom, your friend, your lover, your grown adult child, you can't change people. And a lot of times when you push for them to change, it only creates resistance. And the more resentment they will have towards you, even when you're pushing for them to become a better person, even when you're pushing for them to do things that are great for them. Sometimes people become so comfortable in their dysfunction, in their addiction, in their obesity, in their trauma, that they don't know how to function outside of that. And it's up to them to do the work. It's up to them to find their peace and happiness. It's not your job to grow another adult, right? It's not your job to change that person's life. You can be supportive, but I'm telling you, the more you push and try to change a person, all you're doing is tiring yourself out, because some people are so stubborn. Some people will continue to be who they are until the day they die. Isn't that sad? There are children out here who are trying to save their parents and vice versa. And those people are who they are until they decide to change. We see it constantly in relationships, right? People will complain and bicker and say what they want and they need. It goes in one ear and out the other. But when somebody decides to leave them, they're like, wait a minute. They don't love you like I love you. Now they're ready to change. Now they're ready to step up. Even with teenagers and kids, a lot of times, all that yapping and talking, it don't do nothing. But once they take that phone, they take that tablet, or even, God forbid, put them out, all of a sudden, they can get on a chord. All of a sudden, they understand what you're saying. People understand what you're saying. They're just not ready to change. People understand where you're coming from. They heard you the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, however many times you just said it. What's really heartbreaking is when you want better for a friend or family member or even lover than they want for themselves. When you see their potential, right? But a person has to love themselves. You can't love them into wholeness. They have to be committed to doing the work, whether it's their fitness or finances. You can keep wanting better for them, but that doesn't mean that it's going to make them change. It's hard to accept that sometimes people would like to change. They would love to change, but they feel like they can't, and that's what keeps them stuck, right? People who are addicted to things a lot of times don't want to be addicted to it. So really, when you're trying to force a person to change physically, financially, or mentally, you're trying to beat the addiction for them, whether they're addicted to gambling, to drinking, to smoking, to casual sex, whatever their addiction is that's eating them alive and tearing them apart. You cannot fight that battle for them. They have to be willing to buckle up and fight that battle. So you can't change a person, but you have control over how much energy you want to exert into that person, right? You have control over how much time that person spends in your space. And sometimes, what they say, the distance makes the heart grow fonder. Sometimes, yes, yapping and more action, you pulling your energy back or spending less time, maybe able to understand this person is actually serious. Even if it's family or friends, it's sad that sometimes you have to be like that. But if you've constantly been trying to get someone to understand that you want them to do A, B, and C, and they haven't done it, you have to accept, okay, I'm going to deal with this person, or I'm going to let it go, because they're not changing. And you don't want to spend the rest of your life trying to change another human being when some people are not capable of making a change within themselves, right? There's people that we know that who have been trying to lose that same 10, 15, 20 pounds. There's people that we know who have been trying to quit alcohol or drugs for years. So what makes you think that you can just magically swoop in and make this person's life better, or get them to change something that you want, that they may not even want, but they may not want to tell you, right? Sometimes we see people in their dysfunction and they're like, look, all you got to do is this. But they're okay with where they're at. And sometimes they don't want to admit that to you or even their self. And no, I don't agree that you should withhold your love or your affection and your energy to teach somebody a lesson. You should do that to protect your peace and your happiness. If there's someone who constantly comes into your life and ruins that or shakes up your world, you have every right to keep your distance, no matter who that is. Because some people will never change, but they'll keep giving you the hope. They'll do the bait and switch. They'll give you a little glamour, a little peace, a little happiness, a little hope, a little bit of what you want, just to inevitably switch back to the same BS, right? That's why they have so many on and off relationships, so many family members who fall out, because we have that hope that a person will change. And it's kind of like, do you want to spend the rest of your life risking your happiness, risking your peace, risking your livelihood for some people, the hope, on the whim that finally this is the time, the 100th time that this person is going to change? Be real with yourself. I don't think a lot of us realize how crazy our actions seem, right? But just say it out loud. If only I could get this person to see it from my point of view, they'll understand how much better their life can be, or our friendship or our relationship. If only. Sometimes people are not trying to see things from your point of view. They don't want to change. Change takes a lot of work. It's a personal endeavor. You cannot force someone to change. If only this, if only that. Again, you're going off of hope. And what's crazy is sometimes people force people to change, and then when that person does finally make their change, they realize the friendship is unmendable, or the relationship or the family, the kinship, it will never be the same, because it's so much damage done. Spend less energy trying to change others and more energy on improving yourself. And remember, it's not your responsibility to change anyone, to make anyone elevate, unless they're a toddler or a growing child. It's not your responsibility to make sure that they're doing best in life. Some people, they don't feel like they deserve the best, and that's kind of why they stay where they're at. And I know that's so hard to accept, because wait, they don't love you like I love you. You might love them more than they love themselves, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Come join the YouTube family. It's free $99.